person talking about love, thine brother is the preacher. And it seems nobody's interested in learning but the teacher.
Hey Chalk Talkers.
Hey Chalk Talkers.
Today we're going to be going over a recap of how to fix powerlifting.
Who are you and why are you here?
My name's Daniel, and I'm just here as I'm kind of getting started in the sport of powerlifting. I've only been doing it for about a year, and just want to go over like my experiences so far and some of the meets that I've been to. And
How many meets total have you gone to? Or competed in?
Competed in 3.
We did one at EPC. We had
Newport?
Yeah, 4.
Deadlift for Dornbecker?
Dornbecker, and
4.
the one here at the gym.
Yeah.
Which one was your favorite so far?
The one here at the gym.
How come?
Either that or deadlift for Dornbecker. The one out at the coast was super long, and it should have been split up into 2 days. And it was like my first, we woke up at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and then I deadlifted my last pull at like midnight. So
it was a lot of fun.
it was super fun.
Real easy to keep it up for 18 hours or whatever it ended up being.
Like I usually get super fired up and go all psycho for my deadlifts, and then I like walked out there like, oh, I guess I'll
lift it.
Wait now.
Yeah, I ended up making the drive out for that same day, and then you guys stayed the night. I should have just stayed with you. I was like, no, it's fine. I'd rather go to sleep in my own bed. And we didn't get back home till like 4 a.m., something like that. It was like 23
Yeah,
hours
you drove
straight.
back that night.
I rode back.
Stupid.
No, I rode back. Shelly drove. If I drove, I would have killed us all. I was trying to see, like, if I could stay awake, like, if hypothetically I was driving, if we would be dead or not. So I'm sitting there, I was like, okay, well.
10 minutes later.
I'm in the passenger seat. I was like, I totally could have driven. Oh, shit, we're going to die.
I think if meets like that run that late, I think just letting people know ahead of time what their plan is, They talked about splitting the meet up in 2 sections, but then you have to be realistic. How long is it going to take to get 55 people through, squat, bench, and dead? You're not going to be done at 2 o'clock. You're not going to start at 2 o'clock or, end the first group at 2 o'clock and start the next one by 2:30.
Yeah.
I think deadlift or squatting for the second, round of the day didn't start until like 5.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And they were anticipating starting at 2. So it made it for a long day, and then it kind of screws everybody's warm-up up. Because, everybody's got kind of like a ritual stuff they want to do, including your pre-workout and warming up and
Not waking up at 7 o'clock for no fucking reason.
yeah, when you roll in there thinking you're gonna lift at 2, but you're really gonna not lift till 5:30 or 6, really.
There's a lot of things that go into timing the day out.
Well, they could have just said like, hey, if you're hanging out and you're in group 2 for the day, we're not going to be lifting until 5 or whatever. Go take a nap and go eat something. Come back at this time.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, we're just hanging out. Like, well, I'll lift at some point.
Yeah.
Today.
Well, that's one of the things that we had covered in the original episode about how to fix the sport. We had talked about, how to run meets more efficiently, how to, make things more lifter oriented. And it's been kind of interesting now that we've actually put on a meet, because we learned a lot in the process. We learned how much freaking work goes into actually putting on a good event. So, like, for me personally, Jeff, I have kind of a newfound respect for how much goes into actually putting on the events. But still, as a lifter and a coach, more so than an event promoter at this point, there's still a lot of things that I think need to be done and need to be fixed. And so kind of one of the reasons that we wanted to have you on the show is to kind of get your perspective as, somebody who's newer into the sport, who's had a good amount of success in the last year. You're going to be, part of the group of people that carries this forward into the next, 10, 15, 20 years. So we thought that would add kind of an interesting perspective to the conversation that we had in that other episode.
Well, I think one of the things just to point out before we jump into this, I think running a meet is very similar to your training, right? You have to have an expectation. It has to be realistic. And I think one of the things that meet promoters need to keep in mind is that realistic expectation of, you know, can I get this amount of people through in one day, and, you know, what is that going to do for me? I mean, for me as a meet director, you know, putting on this last meet, if it would have went till 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, I mean, at 3 o'clock I was done.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine staying here until 11, you know, still running people through lifting. I mean, that puts a wear and tear on you also, and you can't have the expectation of being in a good mood or being friendly or helpful when you've been here for 16 hours, and, you know, you still have to put the gym back together. You still have to, you know, do all these other chores after everybody's long gone. So just kind of keeping all that stuff in perspective, and that's the biggest thing I think I've taken away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that meet was fun just because it was like, you know, the spaces between the lifts were good. It wasn't like so fast that you couldn't keep up, and then it wasn't like hours where you had to like warm up for each lift and then you were done at 1 o'clock in the morning. And it was like afterwards you're still able to talk to everybody and be in a good mood and go grab lunch or, you know, hang out with people. And like after the Newport, I was like, we were trying to take pictures and stuff, and I'm just like pissed off at life, not wanting to smile. Like, yeah, I know I had a good meet, but fuck off, I want to go to bed. Like,
yeah. Well, that was one of the I think the main things that we really wanted to do well at with this last event was put on something to where, you know, everybody still had a good time. Like, it was fun and low stress, at least for everyone else. And, you know, except for all 3 of the stereos. We went a little bit too hard in the stereos. It's still broken. I'm running off of a boom box now.
You should walk around with it in the gym.
I just throw it over my shoulder on an extension cord.
It'll be a throwback to your senior picture.
Oh God. But yeah, that was kind of one of the things that we really wanted to try and do a good job of, is just keep the event running smoothly and have everybody have a good time. So good. I'm glad, at least from your perspective, we were able to do that.
So when you first started powerlifting, what kind of numbers were you hitting?
When I very first started training, I was pulling like mid-4s. I had already been lifting before that. It's not like I just walked in the gym first day and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna pick up 450. It was like I came from CrossFit, and then
you're one of them.
I was one of them.
What was your Fran time
for a couple of years? I got in 6s.
I don't actually have any. I don't.
Did you like wads?
That's fast. I loved wads.
Yeah.
How much faster than the other guys did you wad? When you guys all got together and wadded.
It was a
Were you
good
the
time.
quickest?
Only if the workout was like deadlifts and pull-ups or something. If there was like any overhead squats or something that required mobility, then they all just smoked me. Intro into powerlifting.
All right, so 450 pull.
Benching.
If you're CrossFit, you could only bench 150 then.
Probably.
I benched 2 wheels.
Oh, okay.
Which was really heavy
Elite.
for a CrossFitter.
Yeah.
And I think
total.
I was in.
Didn't have that many bumper plates.
I was in. I don't think it's included.
So the bar was full.
I don't think it was included in the CrossFit total.
Yeah.
No, I was in the CrossFit gym for over a year, and I benched 1 time.
Wow. But you're still doing about 225.
Yeah, just we did like a lot of push-ups and overhead stuff, so I think I had a little bit of pressing power, but bench is
Strong shoulders.
Bench is still my weakest lift.
That's weird. You don't know how to fix that.
And then squatting, I got 460, squatting close stance, high bar, like a Oli lifter.
So you're right around like 1,100 pound total.
Yeah, my first meet I got a 13 something, 1302
yeah.
or something like that.
We poached him.
What about in December? Or, well, that wasn't December. It was...
Well, Dornbecker was the next one, I think. No, you did. Did you do October? We met you at October.
You met?
So yeah, we
met in October.
We poached him because he looked very
Did
green.
you guys meet on Tinder?
Yeah, actually.
I showed up and it was like, I think I was 18.
I think you were in line or something.
18 or 19. Yeah, and I was standing in line behind these guys, and one of his teammates turns around and he says, so judging by your traps, you're going to do pretty well today.
So that's Shane, I bet.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then you guys are like, what are you going to open with? And I was like, 450. And he was
Like, what are you trying to hit? 460.
460.
You're going to hang out with us. Go change your opener right now.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'm here to break a world record. It's like, okay. And then I wrapped your knees for deadlifts, but not for squats. I think you wrapped your own knees for squats.
I got that from Steven.
We'll have a talk. It's like, yeah, can you wrap my knees for deadlifts? I was like, what the fuck for? That's what I do.
Yeah.
Okay, but you realize this isn't a thing, right? He's like, yeah, just okay. And then you pulled 570.
I had never seen it, but I pulled 575 at 181.
Yeah.
In my first meet. So whatever.
Wow. What'd you do at the one at the coast? What was your total?
1562, and I squatted 585, benched 315, and pulled 662.
Your bench really came up.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, he was coached by a relatively intelligent person. Huh. With connections to a mediocre level of squatter. that Delta project is really going well for him.
Cool. Good job.
I'm skipping pin presses and squatting like 4 times a week.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. 90% every other week.
Yeah, and then just do negatives.
Negatives, yeah, well, you load it
5
up.
by 3.
You just drop the bar 5 cents.
Just load 4 wheels on there, and
Yeah.
you see how long it takes for it to get to my chest.
3, 2, 1.
It can work.
Yeah.
It's basically like reverse max effort.
I think it's perfect. On a 4 board.
I think I've also had some problems with bench though, just because of my shoulder. Like recently, it's been like, well, I can go heavy once every 3 weeks, maybe, and like without being in excruciating pain.
Well, I think a lot of that is we tweaked some things with your bench setup, like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that seemed to help. And now we've got the nicer bench here, so I think between getting a better lift off, learning how to get a little bit tighter, we should be able to keep your shoulders healthier.
Yeah, it turns out I wasn't using any lats, like at all.
Yeah.
Like a 0%.
So when you're walking around and people ask you if you lift, like, do you ever go to the grocery store and somebody say, do you lift or you work out a lot?
Yeah, when I'm buying about 18 pounds of meat.
Yeah. They ever ask you what you squat or they only ask you what you bench?
They pretty much only ask me what I bench.
Yeah, because that's the only important
But I just ignore that and then tell them what I deadlift.
No.
Yeah, so here's my deadlift. Yeah, that's bad for your back. So like back to your bench.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
315 is still pretty impressive in like
Yeah.
in normal.
I tell people when they ask
If you
me
do
what I bench.
anything with 315 in a regular Globo gym, you're pretty much on steroids.
When people ask me, I just say I bench 275 for reps, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's crazy." So, 315 is good.
He's stronger than Adrian.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, it sounds like you've had some pretty good success in the first year. Glad to have been a part of that. So it's good. It's been fun to watch. Where do you see yourself going in the next couple years, or 5 years, 10 years? Where do you see yourself going with the sport?
Well, after this last meet, I hit a deadlift that I wanted to hit a 675, and now I'm writing a program right now for myself.
What'd you total this last one?
Only a little bit more.
16?
I ended up missing my thirds on squat and bench, so it was 1575, and
Yeah.
that's just because my deadlift jumped up.
Okay.
But now I'm kind of starting to training strongman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just interesting because, like, I'd like to actually be able to maybe go, like, get like a pro card or something, and it would be like in the under 105 kilo, because I'm not that big, obviously, but, you know, you can still go somewhere with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll still be competing in powerlifting too, but it's just
Something different.
Yeah, something different. I've always been athletic. I grew up playing a lot of sports, and then wadding, and being able to jump high and run fast and
What was your favorite sport?
move quick. Basketball. I played basketball for 6 years.
Good.
And then powerlifting over the last year or so, it's just been like I'm getting real static in one plane of motion, and I just want to.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to be in strength sports, but I want to be able to move, and run with stuff and pick stuff up. And
Yeah, absolutely. So you had mentioned wanting to get a pro card. We had talked about in that first episode where we talked about kind of the state of powerlifting. We had talked about there not really being a big difference between the top guys in the sport and somebody just walking into it as a first meet newbie, and the fact that they can be competing on the same platform on the same day at the same stage, and it's just kind of whatever. And, you know, it could be, hey, this is my first meet. I'm here to bench 135. Up next is Adrian, 585.
Yeah.
No big deal. And there's not a lot of delineation between the people that are at a professional level or at an amateur level, because we don't have any way of really determining that aside from like an elite level total. Is that kind of a detractor for you wanting to stay in powerlifting?
I mean, it'd just be, I see the point in wanting to, like, yeah, you want to support everybody, and it's nice to bring new people in and, like, support them at the meets and stuff like that, but it should be, when you get to a certain point, you're a professional, you're different, you know, you've worked hard to get to a point where you're in the top 1% or 5% of lifters, and then you should be separated, I think, and, you know, yeah, you want to support everybody, but, yeah, I'd like to be able to go to a competition and be like, yeah, I competed in this competition, and have people say, oh, you were at, you know, that competition, that was a high-level competition, you must be...
I went to the Super Bowl. I lost, but I went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think meets are starting to get saturated because there's too many of them, and there's nothing really distinguishing anymore like a world championship. You know, a lot of the federations just say, hey, you know, just go to one of my meets, place in the top 3, and then you can go to worlds.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Like, I went to the coast. It was my first time competing in USPA, and I could have gone to World in November. And it's like, yeah.
And those events should be a little bit more prestigious, but, you know, those are also 4 or 5 day events with 400 or 500 lifters, and, you know, they're not going to turn somebody down because they got 3rd place in Wisconsin and they flew to Vegas to be, you know, to get 9th place at Worlds.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just, I think the meets are so saturated now that there's no real definition. You have these events like invitational stuff, like RUM. They do a pretty good job kind of making it so that elite lifters are lifting
together and against each other.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the big things that has historically been missing, is just that, like, that direct competition. And even at the local level, and we had talked about even doing this, and I think that, I don't know if, I'm pretty sure I had heard that kind of back in the day they used to run events like this too, but like, at least for the sake of the event, rather than having everyone be in their own category, where, you know, you're like, oh, well, I'm going to be a Submaster 33 or 39, or I'm going to be a this, and then I'm going to be a drug-tested open 65 with wraps, without wraps. Like, scoring all of the weight classes just directly against each other at the event. That way there feels like there's some competition.
Yeah.
Because I know, for me personally, it's not nearly as fun when you sign up. You're like, oh, awesome, who am I competing against? Perfect.
Yourself.
I'm the only one in the open men's 242 with 1 wrap and an Olympic shoe on the other leg, tested kind of degree. Like, you're not going to push yourself as hard if you know you're not competing against anyone.
Right.
Well,
And
when you get the first place trophy, it's like,
it doesn't mean anything.
yeah, it's like, well, cool.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, how'd you do? Yeah, I won. I beat myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the competition part of it has gone away, and it seems like just over the last few years, you know, there's so many different categories, which I think is good, because I don't think 60-year-old men should be lifting against 20-year-olds, you know, or tested, non-tested, whatever. But it's interesting because there's so many different divisions. I can't tell you how many competitions I've gone to where somebody would come up and ask me, what division are you in, what weight class you in, and even at a competition I went to just a few months ago, somebody intentionally weighed higher in the next weight class because they didn't want to compete against me.
Yeah.
Which is I think that's funny, but
Well, that's something I with the UPA meet here, I looked up the records to see if I was going to be attempting any, and the 198 records were harder to beat than the 220 records.
yeah.
But I still wanted to go 198, you know, just to be, you're a better lifter if you lift more weight lighter.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. I think the whole sport in a whole is interesting. I think it's going to be like this for a while. Eventually it'll change, but it's going to take people getting tired of all of this.
Well, I think we're making some good progress in that direction. Like, since that first episode, we had, you know, the Boss of Bosses 2 meet, which, you know, had an invitational portion to it, and we did see, you know, the best lifters in the world go up against each other, and it was put on well, and it was promoted well. And, you know, like we had the live stream and things that you don't typically see in powerlifting, to where, like, I sat at home and I watched it, I streamed it on my TV, and I just, like, my version of sitting and watching football. And that's something that, you know, we haven't had in the past, to where it actually feels like a televised event in sport and competition. And the reason that went so well is we had all of those top guys going against each other head to head. Like when Jeremy Hamilton won the meet, it came down to that last deadlift.
Right.
You don't see that very often.
And that makes it fun. It makes it fun to watch. It makes it fun to see the outcome of it, instead of just being, oh, Dan Green ran away with it.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think it pushes the top guys to be better and to put on a show.
Yeah.
So that's gone well, and we're going to be doing that again at the Reebok Record Breaker meet. That's got another big invitational portion to it, and a lot of the guys that were at Boss of Bosses are going to be competing at that meet as well. So I think there's definitely been some progress in that aspect of it, but I think that next step, and whether or not that actually is going to happen, is being able to get to the point where maybe instead of having like an invitational day, the people that are going to that invitational need to be just, you know, classified as professionals, or we need to figure out a way to do that, because that's going to push those lifters to show up at events that are going to, you know, where they're going to go head to head, which will then bring more money into the sport, because people want to watch the best people go against each other, and it will give younger guys and girls in the sport something to strive towards, where like, hey, I'm watching these best lifters compete at each other, like, in televised events that have money and some kind of a future in it. I want to strive towards doing that.
Right.
And that's what's going to bring, you know, new blood into the sport. But there's not a whole lot of motivation when the person who's been lifting for 25 years is getting the same shitty $3 China trophy that you are. And they're not, you know what I mean? There's no competition.
Yeah, it makes it fun to watch, and it makes it, I think, so where you can, if you have like things like the live stream, you can show people that just go to the regular Globo gym, you can show those people, like, this is what strong is.
Yeah.
Like, everybody thinks, oh, that one guy that benches 275 over here, he's like the king of the gym or whatever.
It's me.
Adrian.
That guy. Or this guy that squats 4 wheels to quarter depth or whatever, and nobody else even tries to put it on the bar, like, oh, that's strong. Like, if you can promote, like, no, this is what strong is. These guys are the real, like, these guys are monsters. If you want to strive for something, you know, this is what you gotta work for that. And you can't just go into the gym and throw on an arbitrary amount of weight and squat at the quarter depth and just be like, well, nobody else did it, so I'm strong.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people too, and this isn't to like knock newer lifters, but I think newer lifters enjoy walking away with a first place trophy. So it's something that they could show as, hey, you know, this is what I did, and this is, you know, I'm good at this, to kind of get that, again, instant gratification of, hey, this is what I'm good at this, so I should be doing it. Where it should be, you know, one is you're obviously competing against yourself because you want your numbers to increase based on whatever training program you're doing. But then two, you want to be better than whoever else you're competing with, you know? I mean, it's super satisfying for me when I go to a competition and I outlift somebody by 60 pounds and then watch them walk away like, shit, what am I doing wrong? Like, that is what, that is fun, you know? And that's what people should always want to, you know, do that. They should want to compete against other people.
and crush their souls.
Yeah, make them want to quit.
Yeah, it's really motivating when I get to watch that guy walk away all sad.
What kind of advice would you give to new lifters coming into the sport? You know, they want to maybe compete, or maybe they run in here to Savage Gym and...
Savage
Gym.
Don't say anything stupid here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot on the line right now.
I'd say just go to a competition. You know, don't just go to the competition just to set a record, or just don't like look at like the records that have been set and look at the other lifters that are going and say, well, I'm not going to get first place, or I'm not going to set a record, so I guess I won't go. Like, go experience it, go meet everybody, get involved with it, and just have fun lifting, and then get into a gym and put in the work, and, you know, maybe your next meet will be 8 months away or a year away, and actually work on it and build up some experience and strength and then get back into it. You know, just go in like, oh, well, I hit this numbers, and then 2 months later I hit this numbers, and then 2 months later I hit this numbers, and then, you know, so on. So
I think that's kind of important to think of too, because I've had this conversation with, you know, a few people who are like, well, I don't think I'm ready to start competing because I pulled up the records and, you know, somebody at my weight squatted 600 pounds. I was like, well, yeah, no shit. Like, they're the best of all time in that, you know, at that lift at your body weight.
LeBron jumps 6 feet high and dunks from the fucking 3-point line and jumps over 8 people.
Yeah, I should probably not even bother starting
to never
play
play basketball just for fun. Like,
Yeah.
But I think part of, you know, what you were saying with like kind of everybody having a chance to kind of do well and be encouraged, that is one of the big draws for a new person in the sport. And I think that is why, you know, people of all different ability levels can get plugged into competing, is because it is actually, you know, a genuinely supportive group of people and everybody's there to see you do well and to kind of help out. I've said this before, but that's how I even gotten involved. Is I went to my first meet and was like, oh, what's a knee wrap? And they're like, oh, you want them, they help you. I was like, nah, they hurt, I'm good. And had it not been for the people at the meet, I, you know, wouldn't have had such a good time and wanted to spend, you know, the several following years afterwards being a part of the sport. Do you concur, sir?
I do. I think too. I mean, for you, I think it was just you didn't have to diet anymore.
Yeah, I mean that was a lot. Well, actually, I did. My first one,
man.
I had cut over the summer, and I was like, I'm gonna go 220, and I ended up weighing in at 224 or
Cuts
something like
super
that.
heavyweight.
Shut up. 224, and then I won 242 at 224.
So at your first meet, was there anybody that like blew you away when you rolled in there and you're watching all these guys lift? Was there anybody where you're like, holy shit, I'm super impressed with whatever they're doing?
my first meet was the meet that Chris Duffin squatted 881.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty impressive.
Did you get it on tape?
No.
No?
I just watched.
You didn't have like a little boy crush on him?
No,
No?
I didn't know who it was. They just randomly.
Sir.
I think we were at EPC,
Yeah.
and this
Yeah.
guy walks out that I hadn't seen the entire day, and just goes psycho and starts like yelling at the bar, and then squats 881, and I'm like, holy shit.
I think you have to yell at the bar.
I've been doing it wrong.
What about now? What are guys you look up to now? Like, you know, for me, I'll pull up, like maybe on a day off when I'm not training, I'll pull up guys that I like watch lifting and watch some of their training videos.
I knew that was you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Do you do that?
Yeah, I watch a lot of lifting videos.
Who are some guys you follow right now?
I've always liked watching Dan Green. He's just seems like a cool guy, and
You see his new haircut?
No.
No, I'm just kidding. He didn't get a
Oh.
haircut.
He didn't cut his hair.
What?
Do you know why he's got long hair? Do you know the story behind it?
Yeah, he's competing with his kid or whatever.
Well, when his kid got to a spot, if I remember correctly, we talked about it. He said that his son didn't want to get a haircut, so he agreed that he wasn't going to get a haircut till his boy got a haircut.
Yeah.
So they both have just skipped the barber shop, and so I make fun of him. I tell him now that I'm going to purposely cut his hair so he loses all his power.
Yeah.
But
You Delilah motherfucker.
yeah, I don't know. Who else?
I don't know. Lately, I've been watching a lot more strongman type stuff, and just like, of course, like Shaw and Half Thor and those guys. But like, those guys are just so impressive to see. Like Zaviskus press like strict press like 455 over his head, and it's like, what the fuck, like.
Yeah. Again, I mean, those are guys that have been doing it forever.
Yeah.
You know, it's really tough to compare where you're at to
Yeah.
somebody else when they've been doing it forever, and
It's just motivating to see like that's possible. Like somebody did it.
What about Eric Lillybridge? You ever watch any of his stuff?
Yeah, I watched the animal videos and stuff like that. He's, he said he just doubled like
1,015.
1,010 or 1,015 or something like that.
You know what's crazy about Eric is he never gets hurt.
Yeah.
Well, he squats like once a month or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, overall in training, like, he never has shoulder problems, never has pec
Yeah.
problems, never has hammy problems, like, never has back problems. And if he does a really good job hiding it, but he never, like,
Never see any kind of catastrophic
No.
injuries from
I think
him.
if you train smart enough, like that's something you're always teaching. Like
1,015 for
Within
two reps
reason,
doesn't
but
sound
yeah,
smart.
by the time you get to that level, like there's just an inherent risk of
yeah,
messing
I mean,
something
if you're
up.
putting a car on your back.
So if he
you
does
might get hurt.
1,015 for 2 reps, he's 10 weeks out from his next competition. What does he hit?
I think the
I think
scale is different at that point. Like
You think so?
I don't know.
I think he's good. I mean, I think we've got a really close race between him, Milanachev, and Zahir for who's going to be the next to hit 1100. I feel like technique-wise, Milanachev is probably the closest. Although he's coming off of a hamstring injury from Bossa Bosses, so that's going to put him behind. Plus, he never really goes to 100% at his meets. You can always tell,
It
like,
looks easy.
whatever he does, he completely smashes and he leaves some in the tank, which is a very, after having had Shaco here earlier this year, is a very Russian style of approaching training.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like when Milanachev squats 1100, he's going to make it look the best. But I feel like either Zahir or Lillibridge may get there faster just because of that injury.
Well, it seems like Lillibridge competes every 4 days.
Yeah.
So
He competes every like 6 weeks or something like that.
just cool. I love watching him train. His bench is going up too, so
Mhm.
his total is going to be crazy.
His bench is, I think he'll probably be the first to hit that 2500.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a very well-rounded lifter. He's pulling. I don't think he's pulled 9 in a meet yet, but he's done it in the gym. He's
Yeah,
hit
I
like
saw a
so
video of him pulling 9.
I think he pulled 9 from a deficit, if I remember correctly.
Like it's fucking 900 pounds. This is really like.
It's crazy.
But everything he does is always super fast and explosive. So I think his technique is just so good that's why he's not injured, because he never really deviates from the same form.
Right.
I think there's certain styles of lifters that like, you watch them and it's like either they get it and make it look super easy, or they just don't get it. And like that's like you have super good technique, and that's like either you get it and it's super easy, or one little thing goes wrong and you just don't get it. And then there's other people who more like kind of the style that I have, like if I'm deadlifting, it's going to take me 12 seconds to get it up, and I'm grinding out and screaming and going psycho the whole time. It's just, I think it's a couple different styles.
Mm-hmm. Well, Eric's been training for so long now. Is he 24 yet? Is he 24
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he's in his mid-20s.
But he's been training for so long that his technique is just really, really, really dialed in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's at a point now where, they're squatting heavy every other week. And so it's more, I think, a battle of maximizing recovery and then just keeping that technique clean for him to be able to continue to make those progressions. Because it's not like he needs more muscle.
Right. Well, and talking about Eric, his brother's starting to come around to be a really strong 220 lifter.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's crazy.
Yeah, he set a bunch of really hard records to beat in 198.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be a stud. Well, he is a stud, but he's gonna be more of a stud.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to add? Any advice for anybody on anything?
Train with me.
Oh, here comes the plug.
Yeah.
Hey, for a low cost of $49.99 a month, you can train with Daniel.
Yeah.
Click in the next 14 seconds.
It just turned into one of those infomercials. I'm gonna start selling like.
What are you gonna call your training program?
It's not gonna be like selling programs or anything. It's just starting up a business, personal training, and it's gonna be Grizzly Strength Training. Getting the website started up. It should be online in the next week. GrizzlyStrengthTraining.com, and just started up the Instagram at Grizzly Strength Training.
How come you didn't go with like Delta training?
Delta Force Training.
Yeah.
I think it was taken.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, well,
Damn it!
you're going to have to start a whole new ebook.
I have to
then.
really think about this.
I don't know any other Greek letters besides like beta and...
So, are you personally starting your own training program, or are you taking like bits and pieces of what you learned from other lifters? What do you do as far as like training somebody, and what are you going to train them in? Because it sounds like you're kind of on the brink of going into strongman, but you have a good base with CrossFit and powerlifting?
Yeah, pretty much anything somebody wants to do athletically, you know, from football players to CrossFitters to powerlifters, strongman training. You know, it's not going to be like I just write a set program and just sell it to them. You know, get on the website. There's a contact me page. Tell me what your goal is, and you know, we'll meet. And you know, it's going to be tailored individually. Everybody's different. You know, you can't just. I feel like you gotta tailor lifting programs like that to people's schedule and you know, their injuries and whatever has gone on in their life.
I feel like if you had a name like Third World Girls Gone Wild, I feel like you'd get more hits.
It'd be a lot more popular.
I feel like you
you'd
should
get a lot
yeah.
more hits.
Yeah.
Now that you have Instagram, are you gonna start
Like
posting
grizzly training sounds.
like bears?
Yeah, it
You get a
sounds
bunch
like
of
you're
hairy
gonna
gay
like
guys.
bears.
Yeah.
Like you like dudes.
Like hairy ones.
Rawr.
Yeah. There's another guy. There's another one of my buddies that.
You're gonna start getting DMs on Instagram now.
Yeah, exactly. He started
Dick
up
pic.
Primal Strength, or he's starting it up or something like that in the gym that I work at, and like he's got a gorilla, and now I've got a bear, and like I feel like a girl needs to start something up because there's about to start being a lot of testosterone.
Yeah.
So that's what you call it. It's like that time
Yeah.
that I rolled up on. There's another gym in town called Fierce Fitness.
Yeah.
And so I pulled up on, they have their truck all stickered up, and this is when I had the 4Runner, so
You pull up
it's
next to
like
him at a
Fierce
stoplight.
Fitness and then Savage Strength Conditioning. I look over, and it's like,
Grizzly Strength.
like
Training pulled up on
independently we sound like, yeah, all right, Fierce, yeah, Savage, and then you pull them together, it's like Fierce Savage.
it. Yeah.
You're like, Grizzly, Gorilla, Grizzly.
It's funny. It's
Rawr.
funny watching some of these
They
different
negative
gyms
each other out.
that pop
Yeah.
up. I mean, they all like have like the same type of name. It's just a little bit different. You know,
Yeah,
it's funny.
I spent a long time trying to think of something.
And you came up with Grizzly.
Came up with Grizzly.
Holy
I like
fuck.
bears.
I spent 6 weeks and I came up with Grizzly.
Well, everything's taken. Like so
That
many
is
people
true.
are starting up stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Then there's-
I had a lot of other ideas, but
Savage was like
Everything's
my
taken.
11th idea.
You could always have like just switched Savage around. I mean, that's kind of the trend. Is it could be like Savage Conditioning and Strength.
yep.
I would
could've
have punched you
done
in the
that.
dick.
Savage. Savage better strength.
Or you
and
could have
conditioning.
put, yeah, you could have.
Savage or
yeah.
Strength and Conditioning.
Savage.
Daniel's more savage than Jeron, Strength and Conditioning. You could do
There you
that.
How
Yeah.
about Savage
I feel like that's
Conditioning
gonna,
and Strength?
that's gonna be a long website.
Yeah, but
It's catchy
Yeah.
once you memorize it.
Yeah.
Jeron.
Then I'll have to spell my name, Savage, Jaron's name.
That's too many letters
Yeah.
for you. That'll never work.
Yeah, I barely made it through high school. This isn't even it.
Alright. You done?
I think
you
we
didn't look
fixed-
like you're
I think-
disapproving everything.
I think we fixed powerlifting.
we fixed the entire sport of powerlifting
Oh
in
my
one
God.
episode. My ass hurts.
I don't know about that. What do you think about? We talked a little bit about this a few shows ago about the steroids and tested powerlifting. How should there be like a list, like an all-time list of maybe people that fail drug test in the drug tested division?
I think people are gonna use steroids anyway, and there's gonna be like maybe that guy's not in it, but this guy over here that's not on the list yet, he's still gonna be competing.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a personal choice. And
Well, I don't give a shit if somebody uses steroids or not, but how about the people that go into the tested drug-free divisions
yeah,
and then fail drug tests? Should that be?
yeah. I mean, there's a non-tested division. Like,
Yeah.
just compete in that. I don't understand. Like, I mean, obviously they're just trying to cheat and win but.
That first place
They
trophy.
they made a division for you, and yeah, like really, you're gonna take a bunch of drugs to go cheat and win the first place trophy against yourself at the meet that, like, maybe you're competing against one person that is his first meet, and like you had to cheat. And
Do you
take
think there
steroids
should
to
be
win
like a
that?
list of people that failed drug tests? Maybe for like, it should be like effective for a year? Just like the all-time list, like
Yeah,
if Powerlifting
actually.
Watch had a list of the all-time records, but now they're having a list of people that failed drug tests too. So maybe guys that are putting together meets can go and
Yeah.
look, oh, you know, Daniel just failed the drug test 3 months ago. He's not allowed to he's not allowed to compete in the drug tested division.
That didn't happen.
It did not happen. I'm saying hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Yeah.
You don't even look like you do steroids, so
No,
you're
yeah,
fine.
I'm not super jacked or
It's
anything.
just your traps.
Yeah. I don't know, they're a little suspect.
Synthol.
Your shoulders are in your
Synthol.
ears.
My quads got so pumped the first squat day after the meet. Like, they were like folding over my kneecap. And it just looked like I injected them with synthol, and I was like dying.
Apparently you didn't read my shirt today. Nobody cares about quads and
I
squats.
feel like a lot of people care about squats.
No.
Like,
No.
Yeah.
No. You're
Well,
false.
The people that suck at benching care a lot about squats and deadlifts.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
don't agree with that.
Well, I want to make a skip bench day.
Yeah.
That just sounds stupid.
That's just a CrossFit shirt.
Yeah, off. Why don't you go wad on your Fran
Go
time
wad.
or whatever? Go wad in the corner.
So I think the other thing, one last topic I'd like to hit on before we get off of the fixing powerlifting is critiquing the meets you go to. Have you ever went up to a meet promoter and said, hey, this is what you did well or you didn't do well?
No, I just leave.
You just leave?
I just leave angry.
So I think a lot of that is that opportunity is missed, you know?
Yeah.
Because you're paying money for an experience, right?
Yeah.
You imagine like going into, let's say like a movie theater. You pay whatever, $20 for you and your girl to go in there, and you go up there and you're like, hey, can I get some popcorn? Like, no, we're out of popcorn. And then you're like, all right. So you go.
Can I
you
get
go.
some candy? No,
Yeah.
we're out of candy.
So you go sit down in the movie. The movie's running, you know, an hour late.
Yeah.
So now you got to sit there for an hour and watch reruns of commercials or whatever, right? And the seats are rock hard. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're gonna.
I fell through the seat at a movie theater one time and stabbed myself in the side with a screw.
That's because you're fat.
Yeah.
I was like 13.
It's your traps.
Well, you had fat traps at 13.
Yeah. Should have been drug tested.
There we go.
But I mean, like you would leave some sort of your
Comment
opinion,
on it,
yeah,
yeah.
like a
Yeah.
comment, like you
Nasty
just-
Yelp review.
I think you should do that with powerlifting too.
Yeah.
And if you go into strongman, same thing with strongman, because I think
Well, the meat promoters have to be willing to hear it too, though.
well, that's not true. That is not true.
I mean,
Because you're paying them. You're paying them. You're their customer, right?
Yeah.
And as much as maybe the perception is that the meat promoters like are above it or whatever, like you're their customer and they want you to show up. So if they tell you to go kick rocks, then you tell them to go fuck themselves and you'll never show up again.
Yeah.
And then now they're losing money
Yeah.
and you're going to tell your buddies the experience you had.
Yeah.
Now, is it one thing, will they take your criticism and fix it? That's another thing.
Yeah.
But every meat promoter better pay attention if somebody gives them criticism on how to fix whatever meat they're doing.
Yeah. I feel like maybe that'd be more effective too if some bigger name guys,
Yeah.
you know, did it. Because I mean, if I go up to them and I'm like, you know what, go fuck yourself. I want to take me and my 30 fucking followers on Instagram,
Right.
and we're never coming back.
No, I agree. I think bigger lifters need to do that. I mean, I do that at every competition I go to. So
Yeah.
after I'm done, I let it kind of process for a couple days, and then I just shoot the meet director an email and just say, hey, you know, I'm just offering up some advice of where I see you can improve on, and these are the things I think you did really well. It's kind of like letting your girlfriend down, right? Like when she screws up, you tell her all the good things that she does,
Yeah.
and then you hit them with the bomb of what
Yeah.
needs to be fixed. And I think, you know, elite lifters have to do that, but I think even coming from beginners or, you know, medium lifters, you know,
Yeah.
it needs to be, hey, this is what I think you can improve on, because that's the only way it's going to get better. Meet directors, I think, walk away from competitions and they're like, oh, that kicked ass. But they don't know what it was like for the lifter.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when they start getting the different perspectives, you know, I remember I gave a meet director some advice one time, and he thought, man, I hit a homer with this one. This was great. And when I explained all the things he did wrong, he was like, oh man,
Yeah.
this sucks.
Well, yeah.
As an example, there was a competition I went to where they didn't say any of the weights in pounds. It was only in kilos. Well,
yeah,
nobody
well,
knows.
yeah,
Nobody
after people
knows.
are gonna be like,
Nobody knows what a kilo is.
yeah, they're gonna go tell their buddies like, oh, that guy only deadlifted 200 or 300.
Yeah. And so I think, you know, when I gave him that advice, I said, hey, you know, you can't just say it in kilos. You can say it in kilos for loading purposes,
Yeah.
but then it has to also be said in pounds. You know, he was like, shit, I really screwed that up. I mean, I dicked that competition up, because it did. For the people in the audience, when you hear, oh, this guy's lifting 280 kilos, they're like, oh,
So
Okay.
Who cares?
Cool.
Yeah. One of the things too is when the meet promoters actually care about the lifters in the meet, it makes it a lot better. Like you guys actually had like prizes and said names and were excited about it and stuff like that. Like at the last meet that I did, you know, it was like, okay, yeah, so what? We had to lift late. You know, the meet ran late. I understand things happen. We're sitting there. All right, we're all done.
Yeah.
You know, I still tried my hardest, even though it was 1 o'clock in the morning. All right, time for awards. All right, cool. I won. You know, at least I get something for it. And like, there was no organization to the awards, and or anything. It was just like, well, here's Daniel Fletcher
Fechner.
Well,
He got a fucked up last name?
Well, he won, I
Oh,
guess.
does he?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's Fechner.
Fechner.
Yeah.
Common spelling.
Just F-E-C.
Like, it's got the K is silent.
Yeah.
That's funny because anytime that I've done any like emceeing and I can't pronounce the name, I just first name, and then if that's hard, you know, just abbreviate
Well,
it.
people know they have fucked up last names. Just butcher it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. So if you had to pick one thing today, right now, you had control over to fix powerlifting, what would it be? And please don't say anything stupid. No pressure.
We're open to your feedback. Don't fuck up.
one federation.
One federation. You know how difficult that would be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple of keystrokes on powerlifting watch.
Oh, that's true. Control Alt Delete. Just delete it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start over.
Listen, nothing counts unless it's this federation.
Wonder if we can call it the Delta Federation.
Maybe.
I feel like trying to take over.
DTF.
It's gonna be
DTF.
Delta Training Federation.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be a bench-only federation.
Yep.
Powerlifting's
With
not
your
even
feet
gonna
up.
exist anymore. It's
With
just
your
gonna
feet
be
Yeah.
only bench.
Squats and deadlifts are no longer a part of
Yeah.
powerlifting.
But we have curls.
Strict curls.
Do they still have
strict
curls? They still have
It's
curls
still in the rule
powerlifting?
book for a lot of the federations. I've never seen anybody do it, but like APA still has strict curl rules. Like I've read it.
The odd lifts.
I don't know. We want to
I
have a
wonder if
strict
we
curl.
could just add shit. Can we just add stuff?
Yeah,
Like rear delt raises.
that'd be cool.
Strict.
I'm good at that. Like a lap pull contest. Can we do that? Lap pulls for reps. I'm
Or
good.
maybe you could do like just random exercises for like random amounts of like reps, like maybe for time or something.
This sounds like CrossFit.
Yeah, maybe.
We
I give up.
You could do
You
like
can't change. You can't change.
we just
the
make
CrossFit
shit
rules.
up and fling things
yeah,
around
just-
for time.
Yeah, and then just like put it on TV and you know.
Make millions of dollars.
Yeah, exactly.
Weird.
Oh, who are the
We
dumb
should
ones? 'Cause
start
I'm pretty
over.
sure they're all getting paid.
Yeah,
P90X.
I'm broke
No.
as shit.
Oh, maybe you should go back to CrossFit.
Well, speaking of me being broke as shit, if you want to train with Grizzly Strength Training,
Rawr. Were you gonna growl at people if they get a PR? Could that be like your
I'll probably
thing?
be screaming at people. If you watch the video,
Rawr. That's how you know you did good.
yeah. I'm gonna record you doing that and then just have it like on a button in the radio. That'll be my white lights. You'll
Yeah.
get 3 rars.
I want to start selling pictures of you in a singlet with your logo at the bottom and seeing if I can get you bombarded with a bunch of bears.
You gotta figure out how many chicks you can talk into getting a tramp stamp of a grizzly.
I'm a grizzly bear.
Yeah, your logo.
Yeah. None.
For every 5, I'll give you a free shirt.
Aww.
And wrist wraps.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Rawr. Alright, let's move into this
We got a video. Speaking of skipping leg day. Where'd you find this one?
I just put in stupid idiots that deadlift.
So he is in a deadlift suit.
Yeah, he is in the suit.
What the fuck's on his arm?
That's like his iPod,
iPod, so he gets
he can-
jacked.
Oh.
Yeah, can crank up the tunes.
Rawr.
Oh yeah.
Grizzly training.
Don't plug me in that shit.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
This
God.
is so stupid.
So
The best part about this is he's like kind of standing in a not sumo, not convent.
there's nothing good about it. I mean the stances. Yeah. So,
What is that comes out? Is that it looks like milk?
puke.
Looks
Well, I know it's puke, but
Just pre-workout. You probably had a protein shake and pre-workout before.
Oh god.
So if you scream as loud as you possibly can on the very bottom of your deadlift, you're probably going to lose some pressure.
Oh, so he needs to work on his core activation.
Well, just
Oh, sir,
Maybe
you're
not
losing your
screaming like
intra-abdominal pressure. That's
screaming
probably
like
what
a
caused to the vomit.
maniac.
what's
First
crazy
thing.
is that has 2 million views.
2.7.
That's crazy.
Well, people like to watch people fail at things.
Yeah.
That
That's
made
what
me
we
feel
started
better.
Yeah, I feel great. I'm deadlifting today, so
I could probably deadlift that and
I'm
not
feeling
puke.
super jacked right now.
All right, Daniel, how do we get a hold of you?
Follow me at Grizzly Strength Training on Instagram. Just started up.
Rawr.
Just started up. There'll be more videos getting posted soon. The website's going to be grizzlystrengthtraining.com, and then just Daniel Fechner on Facebook. I haven't made one for Grizzly Strength Training yet.
I feel like you should give anybody that comes from Savage like 15% off.
That's fucked up.
I'll help you come up with a discount code for that.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Just plug in hashtag fuck Jeron.
Fuck Jaron.
Steal as much business from Jeron as possible.com.
I'll run you over.
Third world girls gone wild.
Where can we
you?
find? Oh, me?
Yeah.
At JeronKerridge on Instagram. I'm back on Twitter. I finally got back into my old Twitter account. I got locked out for a little bit. Too many bear pictures. SavageGym.com, Savage Gym on YouTube. If you want my address, shoot me an email. You can stop by.
I feel like we should just give it to everybody.
Yeah, that's
See who
fine.
shows up.
Yeah, fine. I'll give out yours, Grizzly. Got a little.
Yours, it's the same. It's the same address right now. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Go to the Alpha Project, LarsonPress.com. Buy your Skip Leg Day shirt. It'll make you bench more. Plus
We're gonna
you
get a
look cool.
Skip Bench More shirt, Skip Bench Day shirt. It'll help you squat and deadlift more.
I think I'm gonna come up with my own tag. Like I'm the inventor of Skip Leg Day.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna just stick with that.
All right.
As you
I don't
first
come
one.
up with like cool shit to invent, but I just came up with Skip Leg Day.
Okay. That's fine. You came up with Larson Press.
I didn't come up with Larson Press. I got into an argument with somebody, so I made him call it a Larson Press.
Yeah, but you sold the shirt first, so now it's called a Larson Press. You won.
I know I won.
This is how you win at the internet, because I don't know who the other guy was,
Yeah, I
and it
know
doesn't
either.
matter.
Who else
It was
doing
funny.
that?
It was funny.
You won.
I've been doing that for years. It's not the Larson Press. No, it is the Larson Press. You're gonna call it the Larson Press. Now he calls it the Larson Press.
Yeah, you won.
Yeah. Suck it.
Nope. You're going to find all of this on TalkTalk.tv. Be sure to go to iTunes, give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our
Really, does it have
podcast.
to be I'd be cool with a 3.
If you give us, just give us any stars. Find the median amount of stars and give us more than that. So I think it's like, if it's a 5-star, then probably give us more than 2.5 stars,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be cool. That sounds
Did you
fair.
just do that math in your head?
Yeah. I had to envision 5 stars, and then I picked the
so
middle.
let's go 1, 2.5. So like that.
Yeah, so
Here we go.
half of this one
Yeah.
here would be
Okay.
on the 5-point
So at least
Likert
leave it
scale.
2.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Suck it.